Hey grade 7, welcome to another edition of Mr. V Teaches Math. Today we're going to be looking at 1.15, which is dividing numbers. If you remember last night we looked at short division, which was using remainders to give, using remainders in our answers. Today we're going to go take it a little further and start incorporating, adding in decimals if we have to get, so that we don't have the remainder at the end, or else we may notice a pattern. So our goal, actually there are two of them today, is to compute using division and estimation, and then to use division to solve problems. So our problem that we're going to be looking at first is to solve 4.9 divided by 0.85. We're going to round the answer to the nearest tenth. So we're going to build on stuff that we've learned already. We know how to round. We've been introduced to it or been reminded of it, and we've practiced it several times. So here we go. 0.85 into 4.9. This is our division that we're using on with pencil and paper. This is a decimal, and if you remember from last night, we don't really want a decimal as our divisor. We want a whole number. So we're going to move our decimal place over 2 spots to the right, and we also have to move our decimal place over 2 spots to the right here. So this becomes 85 into 490. Okay, so 85 doesn't go into 4, doesn't go into 49, it will go into 490. So you can use a bit of guess and check. And if we say, use my calculator, 85 times 5 is 425. That's a pretty close number. Let's see if that works. So we say it goes in 5 times 425. Now, I need to do a subtraction here. If the difference between these two numbers is bigger than 85, then this is not the right number. Okay? So 490 minus 425 is 65, so we're fine. Now, what we do, I don't want to just say that there's a 65 remainder. So what's going to happen is I'm going to extend this line a little bit. I'm going to put a decimal place here, and I'm going to add in a 0. So 85 into 650, say it goes 7 times. So 85 times 7 equals 595. And so when we subtract 650 minus 595, we get 55. So we're going to add in another 0 and carry it down. So 8 into 550 goes 6 times, and then so 85 times 6 is 510. I do my subtraction, I have 40 left. Now, I can keep going. When I do 4.9 divided by decimal 85, I actually get quite a long answer. It's like 5.764705882, etc., etc. It could go on forever. It could be non-repeating, non-terminating decimal. But if we think back to the original instructions, we have to go to the nearest tenth, which means the nearest 1 decimal place. And so 5.76, 6 is the key digit, it's 5 or more, which means we raise the score. So this becomes 5.8. So then we can say that 4.9 divided by 0.85 is approximately 5.8. We followed the instructions, we rounded to the nearest tenth, we didn't do more than we had to, and it all worked out. So, that's a bit of a refresher on doing some longer division, incorporating in some decimals. I'm going to show you a few more examples, and hopefully help us clarify some of this stuff. So our first one here is 265 divided by 15. They're both whole numbers, we don't have to make any changes. So 15 goes into 26 once. 26 minus 15 is 11, and then carry the 5 down. 15 goes into 115, goes 7 times. So 15 times 7 is 105. So there's 10 left. Put a decimal place here, add a 0 in. Extend this line a little bit. 15 goes into 100 6 times. And so 15 times 6 is 90. So there will be 10 left over. And I can add in a 0, carry it down. Well, I'm starting to get a repeating pattern. 15 goes into 100 6 times. That's 90. There's 10 left over. That pattern is going to repeat. So basically, what I can say is that 15 goes into 265 approximately 17.67 or 17.7 times, depending on what you're asked for, either to the nearest 10th or nearest 100th. But that 6, 6, 6, 6 pattern is going to repeat. Okay. So let's carry this on. Next problem, 26 into 30.02. 26 goes once, so that's 26. That's 4 is the difference. Put decimal right here. Carry that 0 down. Still just goes in once, so it's 26. And so we have 40 minus 26 is 14. Carry that 2 down. And then 26 goes into 142 5 times. So that's 26 times 5, which is 130, which gives us 12 left over. Add in a 0, carry it down. So 120 divided by 26 goes in 4 times. And so 4 times 26 is 104. And so there's 16, which is the difference. Let's just double check what the answer is going to be. So we'll just stop it at 1.154 because it does go on again for quite a while. If we round it to 2 decimal places to the nearest 100, it becomes 1.15 because obviously the 4 is less than 5. Couple more. Here we have a decimal. We don't want that. We want to move it, turn it into a whole number, so we'll move it 2 places to the right. Same thing over here. 25 into 67 will go twice. So this becomes 25 into 675. Into 67 twice, which is 50, which leaves a remainder of 17. Carry the 5 down. And then 25 goes into 175. It goes 7 times. 7 times 125 is 175. 0 remainder. So that's our answer is 27. Okay, last one. 35 into 5,842. Goes in once here, so that's 35. So that is 3 and 2. Carry the 4 down. That's 234. 35 goes into it 6 times. And so 35 times 6 is 210. It's 4. It's 2. Carry the 2 down. And also goes in 6 times, which is, again, 210. It's 2, it's 3. Extend a little bit, put the decimal place here, carry the 0 down. 35 goes into 320. It goes 9 times, just get a couple decimal places. So that's 9 times 315. Just 5 left over. I'll add 1 more 0, maybe, yeah. It goes into 50 1 time, it's 35. It's 15 left over, add 1 more 0. It goes into 150 4 times. And so 4 times 35 is 140. 10 left over. It's going to keep going. But if we go to 2 decimal places, we can say that the answer is approximately 166.91 because that key digit is a 4. So that 1 stays the same. Anyway, a bit of a longer video tonight, probably the longest one we've had so far. But that is some longer division. Anyway, hope you have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.